All right. Yay. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Happy Monday to you all. Happy Monday. Happy Labor Day. Wow, we're in the month of September already. It is my hope and my prayer that you have taken the day off or you have the day off to just share this day with your family, your friends, or just with yourself and just relaxing at home or out doing some self-care activities. But yes, the Life for our Lifeline team, we are back. We are here and ready to continue to serve you all during this time as me. If you don't know, if this is your first time watching, welcome. My name is Shar or Charlize, but everybody calls me Shar. I'm the director of the Refresh Global LifeWire team, and so it is an honor and a privilege to jump back on with our LifeWire Lifeline sessions. And so we just thought it would be a great time, a great moment to start the day on the holiday break. And so hopefully what I will share with you today and what the team will share with you today will be helpful. It will be insightful. It will be encouraging. It will be empowering. It will be uplifting. Just all of those positive things. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay. So for this month we're going to focus on acceptance, right? Acceptance. Exactly what different topics we're going to be kind of talking about, discussing, sharing coping skills, tips, resources, etc. One, accepting rewards slash accepting consequences for whatever decisions that we make, right? And sometimes that can be challenging, sometimes that can be hard, especially with the consequences. For some of us, we're like, yeah, I kind of messed up or I jagged that. But you learn from it. You learn from it. One of the things about, I guess, in a way, failing in a sense is that you learn from your mistakes, you learn from your flawed areas, and you can always improve, and there's always room for improvement, right? And so you accept that, accepting the fact that, man, I made a tough decision or I made the wrong decision. I am accepting that, but I'm going to do better next time, right? Or catch this, accepting the rewards and consequences of those around you, right? Family and friends around you who've made the decisions, and it affected the family, or it affected the company, or it affected the church, it affected the relationships in which you've had. And so the idea of this month is whether you are in the process of accepting who you are, whether you're in the process of accepting others for who they are, whether you are in the process of accepting change or circumstances that has occurred, and whatever you accepted the rewards and consequences of those decisions, we are all into this process. We are all in this process. And some way, somehow, the avenue will draw you back into just accepting, hey, I have control over the things that I can change, and I'm going to do my best to make those necessary changes. Or you can choose not to. You can choose not to give in to those necessary changes at all. You have the right. You absolutely have the right. But knowing whatever decision that you make, there are consequences and there are rewards to our decisions. But specifically, what I wanted to focus on today is accepting change and or circumstances that has occurred or that is occurring right now. So we are all in this process of change. We are all in this transition. I believe everybody now at this point is back at school. I believe right now a lot of people, not all, but a lot of people are back at work. So in a way, we're kind of back into a routine, and how everything used to be before the pandemic is just in a different way. Yes, right? So everything is more virtual. Everything is more online, or it's more on the tech side. It's less social contact. It's less that social connection that you had with others beforehand. It's not that, it's no longer for most. I'm not for everybody, but for most, it's that less of, I'm going to school to go see my peers or to go see my instructors, and I can touch, there's physical contact, or I can see them, or they're right there, or they're in a close proximity of me and I don't have to wear a mask. Or for those of us who work and went to work, it's no longer that social connection that you had with your colleagues. Now you have to call your colleagues and things like that. And so the process of accepting what has occurred and what has changed is not easy. It hasn't been easy. It's been quite difficult, for some. For some, it was quite rewarding. It could be, and some of us are in between, in the middle. It's been some good, and it's been not so good. And so, what we want to do is get to the point in place in our life, or what the LifeWire Lifeline team really want to share with you all, is a reminder that, one, to accept a new change or a process, depending on who you are, depending on the situation, it is certain steps to get to that place where you finally accept, okay, this is what happens. And some of us in that process might be asking why. Why? Why is this happening? Why are we going through this? Why do I have to deal with this? Man, another thing has happened. Another thing is going on. Wow, why? And so the question why, for some of us, in some cases, the Father allow us to go through things that we actually, beloveds, may not never get to a point where we will understand why. We won't understand why. And so that's where faith and trust has to come in, and you have to be certain that although you may not get the response or the answer that you have to your why question, to continue to trust in your process. Whatever the process that you're going through while in this current change with the pandemic, to trust the process of the why it is happening and why you're going through it. Proverbs 3:5, of course, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. He will lead you. He will guide you. He will put you on a set and narrow path, and you may not understand it. You may not get it, and he may not answer all the questions, but know that it's for your good, regardless on how it may look, right? Regardless on how it may seem with our natural eye, from the natural perspective, scratching your head like, what is going on up in here? What is happening? Like, is anything gonna come good from out this year, right? Or has a lot of good come out this year, but our focus is so much on the bad or so much on the negative that we don't realize the blessing that's in disguise. Which brings to the second point. In other cases, there is a purpose. There is a purpose. It is a learning experience, right? It is, for some of us, it is a learning experience as to why we're going through this pandemic. For others, it is something that has awakened us. It woke us up. It woke up our spirituality. It woke up our creativity. It woke up our natural being. It woke up our minds, our thoughts. It woke up. It woke us up. It was like, we've been sleeping for a while. We've been stagnant for a while. We've been consistent for a while. And so now we've jumped back because of the pandemic. Now we jump back, and now boom, 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 boom. We've had to create. God had to literally snatch away the old And the old process and our old thoughts, our old thinking, so that he can plant new seeds in us so that we can flourish and to continue on the path going upward, to push us further into greatness. And I know it's hard to see. It's hard to see that, like, man, you telling me we had to go through thus far 9 months of complete chaos, mind blowing things that's happening in our world, and you're telling me there's actually a learning experience through all of this? Yes, I am. You're telling me there's actually some good in this? Yes, I am. You're telling me that I should learn from whatever's happening? Yes, I am. Because for everything that God does, there is a reason behind it, there's a reason for it. And for every single last one of us, that thing is different. So, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to accept it? How are you going to handle it? How are you going to deal with it? How are you going to process it? And it's not going to come overnight. It hasn't come overnight. You know, for some, it seems as though as soon as we get back on our feet, as soon as our depression decreased, and as soon as we were no longer angry, something else hit. So then there has become stages. You know, there's now stages, there's now levels, you know, to what we're all going through. But whatever it is that we're going through, whatever specifically, it is going to work out for our good. And let me give an example. And I'm going to be transparent. You know, I'm going to definitely be transparent. Me and my husband, Mr. Allen, have been married for 4 years, 4.5 years actually. And so because of that, you know, we've been on the go. You know, we traveled a lot. We've enjoyed each other's company. We've done and explored new things. We've been to different places. You know, we specifically didn't really have a concern for our finances, if you will, right? We really haven't. But the blessing that was in disguise because of the pandemic is that we realized, we was eating out too much. And that a lot of the finances that we could have saved from because of eating too much, or because of all the traveling that we did, you know, going back and forth to our workplaces, you know, no, using up those finances, we have actually been able to save more. We have actually been able to pay off a lot of our debt. A lot of our debt, because of the pandemic, we ain't had nowhere to go. We didn't have anywhere to go to spend our money. And so because of that, it's like, man, yeah, the pandemic is it's tragic, it's chaotic. I'm not denying that. But what we decided to do, me and my husband specifically, what we decided to do is we started to look at, okay, what is the blessing or the why that we're in this pandemic? Had it not been the pandemic and the shutdown, we would not almost be debt free, with the exception of our student loans. We're still working on that. But everything else, literally swipe clean, wiped away. Because we didn't have anywhere to go to spend that extra money that we were given. You know, and so others like you who are watching may have that same testimony. You know, and for some, it's quality time with family and friends, because you might have been on the go so much, you might have worked so much, you might have been doing so much. Your spouse, your children miss you, or you know, your parents miss you, you know, aunts, uncles, cousins, very close friends, they miss you. You've been on the go. So because of that, there was actually more time available. Whether you took that time or not, that's totally up to you. But there was more time available for you then to reach out more and to express your love. to share your thoughts of what's going on, to have that support system, for sure. And so with those few examples, there are blessings in disguise. And I know there's also the opposite of that. A lot of us have experienced loss. So I experienced lost loved ones, and I'm one of them. I've experienced quite a few lost loved ones during this time. But what is the reason behind all that? So with those two examples, with me and my husband being able to pay off our debt, that is the purpose. That was the part two. That was the purpose. It was a learning experience. It awakened me and my husband that we actually have enough money that we can manage our finances better. Not that we manage them terrible in the first place, but it's like, man, we paid off our debt, a lot of our debt. And we're happy about that. And on the other hand, that part of it was something that we can't control. That part of it was something that we had power over. That's something that we focused more on. Something that is hands-on, that we can control, that we can manage, that we can do better in, that we could grow in, that we could learn from, that God was teaching us in that moment. Hey, manage your money better. For whatever other reasons that God is going to show us later on, that's going to come. Well, hence, we're pregnant. That is one of the other reasons to come. Hey, y'all can't eat out the way that y'all used to, because y'all need to save y'all money, because the baby island is now in place and now is in store. So it's like we never know. So that's one side of it. The other side of it goes back to the first point, is the loss of loved ones. The loss of not only friends or family, but celebrities. Chadwick Boseman, one of the greatest, well-known, respected African-American men that this country, that this world has ever known, really. He was respected on a whole lot of levels. He was such an awesome and powerful example of a Black man, of a celebrity Black man. And he lived his life that was such an inspiration to us all. And it's things like that it's like, man, I don't understand. Like, God, what are you doing? I don't understand why this is happening. I don't understand why him, or why her, or why my aunt, or why my mom, or why my dad, or why my sibling, why my child, why my grandson or granddaughter, why the neighbor down the street who, whenever I needed something, they were there for me. Why the pastor of a church, a well-respected person, whether a man or a woman? Why? And in some cases, beloveds, we're not going to know the answer to. That's something that is beyond our control. That's something that, yes, you can go through the stages of grief with that, if you will. You can go through your moments. You can go through your emotions. I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm not going to tell you to hold all your emotions in and, hey, I'm not going to tell you that, hey, on those days, yes, I want you to be strong. Yes, I want you to be healthy. I want you to be well. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say you may not have those days where you just want to cry in your bed, lay down in your bed and just cry, or on your knees crying, asking the Father why. Or you're on the phone having an emotional breakdown with your close friend, family, or relative. Those days happen. Those moments happen. And for most of us, we need that. We need that safe space to release, to release and to share how we really feeling, so it doesn't get bottled up. Just make sure that you're in a safe space to do so. Just make sure you're around people who are going to nurture that process, who are going to handle that process while you're in that moment. And then you just may not know why. You may not know why, and we're not going to understand. But for everything that God does, it is for our good. It is for a plan. It is for a purpose. And it is to push us. It is to make us better, although we may not see it in the moment. Joshua 1:9 says, "Have I not commanded you to be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Whatever it is you're going through, whatever it is that you're dealing with, he will be with you. You may have moments where someone else needs to uphold you for a little bit. But after you get done crying, after you get done pouting, after you get done all of that, get back on your feet and be strong and courageous in what you're going through. You got this. Don't be afraid of the process. Don't be afraid the fact that you don't know why. Keep going. Be strong. Be courageous. During this time in this pandemic, be strong. Be courageous. Do not be discouraged. Do not be discouraged. God is with us. God is with us. And in Hebrews 12:11, it also says, like, even for the moment, it all may seem painful rather than pleasant. It's going to feel painful rather than pleasant. But later on, it yields to the peaceful fruit of righteousness. It later on leads to peace. It later on leads to victory. Eventually it will, and it does, beloveds. And so, real quick, I'm going to share with you guys the stages of grief, because all of us are in some shape, form, or fashion are all in a say in a part in one of the parts of grief, right? The stages of grief. So number one is denial. Some of us like, you know what? I'm fine. It's okay. Whatever. Yeah, I love that loved one, but hey, it is what it is. And that's okay. Or deny, like, man, that is not happening. This is not what's going on right now. I'm not accepting that thing over there. I'm not doing that. You could be in complete denial of what you're going through and what you're facing. Some of us could be in stage 2, where you're angry. You're angry all the time. You're angry about the what's going on in your communities. You're angry about how, because of the pandemic, now I have to work from home virtually and my kids have to go to school virtually, and I'm trying to figure out how to balance my family in this new process. And I'm angry because thus far I have not been successful. Thus far, maybe your house is chaotic. So you could be very, very angry. Or you're angry about the loss. You're angry about having to wear masks. You're angry about having that lack of social connection with others. Or some of us could be in stage 3, where you're bargaining. You're bargaining. You're trying to negotiate the terms. You're trying to go with God back and forth, trying to make an agreement like, God, can I bargain with this? Do I have to go through this? Do I have to go through the straight line? Can I just, make a right turn here, and come around and go back this way, because I'm tired. I don't know more. I don't want to go through this no more. Take this away from me. I'm over it. I'm tired. So can we do this? Do we have to do that? Why do I have to do that instead of just this? Stage 4, depression. You could be in this, where you're losing your loss of appetite. You're losing your loss of interest. You're losing motivation. It's the lack of losing really who you are, and it's becoming more easier to just lay in the bed. It's becoming more easier to not here, you know, or finally it's all of those things, all of those things that's bothering you, relationships, relationships right now, you're depressed about it because they're falling off, they're lacking. But then there's acceptance, where you finally reach to the point and place in your life, like, you know what, I had my moments, it's tough, it's painful, but I accept it. I'm going to learn from it, or I've accepted it, and although I can't change it, I'm still going to be strong. I'm still going to be courageous. I'm still going to fight, because I know in the end, I'm going to be a better person. In the end, I know it's working out for my good. In the end, I may not understand the plans that God has for me, but I trust in that plan. I trust in that plan. And so I really hope that this was helpful for you guys. This was more so a discussion, a realization for you to, one, seek out which stage you're in. Which stage you're in. And whatever stage you're in, whether you're in denial, whether you're angry, whether you're trying to bargain, whether you're in depression, realize that eventually your goal is to get to the acceptance. To the acceptance part. And I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. I'm not saying it's going to happen next month. I'm not even telling you it may happen next year, because but you have the authority to control when your breakthrough is going to be. You have the authority and to control how you're going to allow the things that you cannot control to continue to continue to run or have power or an authority over your life. And it's okay if you need help. You don't have to do this by yourself. You don't have to go through none of this by yourself. That's why have a great support system. Research a great support system. Ask for a support system. But always keep God in the midst of that. Don't leave him out. Don't let him be your second. Don't let him be your second choice. Let him be your first choice. Because the peace of God, his presence, is so fulfilling. It's so rewarding. More than any man, any woman could ever give. And that's not knocking your friends, your family. God placed us all here for us to be here for one another, but it's not to substitute him or what he can do. Because what he can do is way more, far better, and beyond what any of us can even think of doing. And so, and that's why I love God, love most about God, is that he's not going to change. He's going to be right there waiting for us. And he wants to be there for us. And so in this process of transition, in this process of change, in this process of circumstances of what you're going through, let's get to a place where we realize, like, you know what and where I am right now, I'm in it. I'm in it. I don't know how long I'm going to be in it. We don't know how long this pandemic is going to go. We don't know. There's no expiration date. There's no the end to date. We know the start date. We knew what the start date was, but we don't know that end to date. And so the best thing mentally of what we can do is accept what has happened, learn from what has happened, excuse me, and then make the effort to focus more on what you can control. And what you can't control, give it to God. What you can't control, lay on an altar. What you can't control, pray about it. What you can't control, share it with a beloved friend or family to help you get through the process. But all the answers to your questions may not get answered. But it's just something that we're all dealing with, beloved. So you are not alone in it. You are not alone in it. So it's and I hope all of you who are watching, or those of you who will catch the replay, you're like, man, she's just telling me that, to just deal with it, and it's so hard. I'm not telling you just to just deal with it, get over it, get over yourself, get over your feelings. No, absolutely not. If you think that you're misunderstanding what I'm saying, I'm not saying for you to just quickly get over what it is that you're going through, because your feelings and how you feel about what you're going through are valid, and they are necessary, and they are the truth, because they're your feelings. They're how you feel, and rightfully so. That's when we're going to get into another part later on in the week, accepting others for how they are, accepting others for how they think, accepting others for how emotional or not emotional they are, how sensitive or not sensitive they are. Everybody is different. Everybody is different across the board. What I'm trying to help you to see and to make you aware of is that, beloveds, we are strong. I'm going through just like you are, and not for all of the reasons I know why, but I have gathered much more peace. I have gathered much more joy in the midst of my sorrow. Is by the things that I can't control, I ask God to give me strength to do it. And the things I can't, my God, well, you know how I feel about this. You know I'm angry and I'm upset about this, but Father, I trust you. I trust that you know what you're doing. I trust and I believe and I have faith, oh God, that while you got me in this, you're going to be with me every step of the way. And so for that, beloveds, it is my hope and prayer that you all are encouraged to accept where you are right now. Be strong, be courageous, and know that in the end you will succeed, and that you are victorious, you and your family, you and your friends, every single last one of you. We will win in the end. We will win in the end, and it'll be a testimony. It'll be a testimony for generations to come. Archive it, write it down in a journal about what it is right now and how you feeling and what you're going through. One of my I was about to say one of my apostles. One of my apostles. They are apostles for sure, but Apostle Rain and Apostle Jelani, very, very close friends of mine. Awesome, wonderful people. Beautiful couple. I love them. I have the pleasure of knowing them for I think 5 or 6 years now, and they are such a blessing. But I can't remember which one of them said this. But hey, they married. They take the credit for what the other one does, okay? But one of them stated, that, hey, it was probably Psalmist Rain, but whatever it is that you're going through, when God gives it to you, your life is a testimony. There it is. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Our life is a testimony. My life is a testimony. My life is going to help someone else's life, generations to come. And not just generations to come, but for somebody today. I can be of help for someone today because of specifically what I went through, or specifically what I am going through, or what I have gone through. It is my job to write it down and share it with the world, because people think they are alone. People think they are by themselves, and really we're not. We're not. But if I share how God brought me through, how I share the tips, the resources, the coping skills that I used, I have faith and believe that it's going to help somebody. It's going to help somebody in this time, and even after I'm gone, that it'll be a blessing to somebody. So, beloveds, our life is just not for us. Our life is for others. Our life is for others to see and to witness and to read about. Like, man, I understand what she was saying in 2020 when they was going through. And here it is, 2065, and I'm experiencing some of the same things. Oh man, thank you, Holy Spirit. I guess in other words, I need to get to writing. We all have to get writing and archive what we're gone through, and archive, where we are, what we've gone through, but most importantly, the steps and tools on how we came out of the situation with God's help. And so I pray this was a blessing to you all. With that being said, enjoy your Monday. Enjoy your Monday. Take the day off on not worrying or stressing or focusing on the things you can't control. Focus on your family, your friends, those that are around you, those that are near you, and enjoy the fellowship. Enjoy the fellowship. Do not worry about tomorrow's troubles. Tomorrow's troubles will come when they come. But today, the joy of the Lord will be with each and every one of you. So God bless you all. I hope you had a happy Monday. I hope you enjoyed the starting process of acceptance, accepting circumstances, accepting the change that has occurred. And it won't always be like this. It won't always be like this. And what I mean by that is, even if we're in the pandemic for a certain amount of time, how we handle it, how we accept it is going to change. We're going to be better. We're going to handle it better. We're going to do better. We're going to come up more creative ways to make things easier for us. We will. We've done it before. Look at the transition from the history of time. Our history, what our ancestors, our forefathers, everything that they've done. Time and change has happened. Went from the Bible ages to no technology at all to everything in between and technology now. So it won't always be like this. It'll get easier. It'll get easier. And then it's my prayer that in this process, that you lift up your head and that you walk up with your head held high, and that you stomp on any demon and devil that's trying to tear you down. And have a support group. So that's it, you guys. I definitely missed you all. I miss you all so much. It is my prayer that this has been helpful. So I will talk to you all next week. I will see you all next week on a Lifeline. Enjoy your day. Happy Labor Day. Happy Monday. I love you all and be safe. Take care.